Yeah, no, it was something I've always enjoyed because we were speaking to people that were on courses, and when I worked for the English FA, we part of our role was to we had A license, B license, AYA, pro license courses, and that we had to present on. And I always found them really, really fascinating because, I used to be on those courses, and I always learned a lot from managers and former players that used to come in. So, I think anytime I get asked to do something like that, I find it really beneficial, and I learnt a lot about, like working with sporting director is something that's really important from a manager's point of view, and to spend an hour and a half and a bit of a Q&A, a bit of two-way and throwing, was really beneficial for all parties. And I think it was great that they used our facility, but more importantly, like this, it's a course that's based in Miami,
Yeah.
so hopefully that can benefit everybody.
You're a public speaker now, switching over into your head coach role, your
Yeah.
head coach hat. How's preseason going? You
Pre-
guys are 4 weeks in, so
Yeah, pre-season. I was it 16 days to go now before the start of the season, and it's flown by. You think back to the first day and you think, oh, we've got lots of time, but it's flown by. And I think that the from the first day, you want to be really, really hit the ground running. Then you realise that it takes time to get all the players in, and maybe this week is the first time we've had all the players that we've wanted and signed and fit training together. So that gives us 18 days to prepare for a game against Chicago, and other teams in the MLS are like that as well. So uh, it will take time to get those bedded in, but it's a different group this year. It's a group that I feel as if it's mine. I feel as if my imprints will be all over this team, and one that gives me great excitement because of the hunger and desire of the team.
you've had 4 games, if I'm not mistaken. What have you liked from what you've seen? I've only seen two, and from what I've seen, the defensive side has been very organized, very compact, not giving up a whole lot. But you've obviously seen the 4 games. You're here in training every day. What have you liked from what you've seen from
Yeah,
this
well,
team?
I've liked a lot. I mean, we've worked a lot on repetition of movements, repetition of defending, repetition of our philosophy, and because we felt as if we needed to revisit that. This is a new team, and there was things last year that I really didn't like, and there was things last year that the team didn't implement like I wanted them to, and that was through sometimes they didn't want to, sometimes they weren't capable of, and other times that we weren't just a team doing it together. So the team has been a big focus. We've done a lot of 11v11 stuff. We've done a lot of stuff where everyone's been together. And as we're getting close to the season, we'll break more probably into units and get the connections in the units. But the things that I've liked is definitely attitudes. The attitudes are night and day. We've got players that want to play for Inter Miami. I think that helps. We've got players that want to be here, the players that wanted to sign here, players that are now here for the right reasons. And that gives us a great starting block to be successful.
Without giving away too many secrets, I don't know if you can share any, but what are some of the things that maybe the team didn't do last year that you want to see from this group this
It
year?
plays a team. Some players last year didn't want to be at this football club, didn't want to play for the badge of Inter Miami. We had players that were open about that, and they showed it in many ways. Sometimes verbally, sometimes by their actions, sometimes by their performances. So it was pretty easy. When people talk about the turnaround of the squad, it was pretty easy to turn around the squad. We had some really good guys that we let go of, and we also had some guys that didn't want to be here, and we had to clean up the dressing room. There was a cancer within the dressing room. We had to clear out that cancer in the dressing room, and what we focused on was the bare principles of what we think makes most teams successful, and is that first and foremost bringing good people into the building. That's what the ownership wanted. We want good people in the building. We want a culture of hard work and good people, and the process we went to recruit was exhaustive, and it took a lot of time. And Chris Henderson, Mark Prezant, Nicky Budalic worked so hard, and we had to sacrifice our off season just to get the right people. And me and Chris said to each other after about 3 or 4 months, we need better people in this building. We need people that want to play for this football club, and so the recruitment process was exhaustive and thorough. And anyone that's come into this building had to go through very rigid protocols and processes.
How tough was that for you last year? Your first year in MLS, first year with Inter Miami, to have a team that much instruction, no matter how many different things you try to do, you try to bunch of different things with this stuff, to try to get this team to gel, it just didn't click. How tough was that as a coach to not be able to have fully bought in?
Yeah, it was difficult because we wanted to win. We came here to win. We came here to be successful. But realised very quickly it's going to be really tough to be successful at that moment in time. So I was very lucky that I had an ownership group that knew and felt the same as me and Chris. And I had Chris Henderson, who gave me incredible backing in moments when I needed backing, in moments when we were losing games. And I've got to say, in terms of sort of like my experience was I had to be relentless from day one and never change and stick true to my values. And I think that's what got me through the year. I stayed true to my values and I never wavered once in terms of what I wanted. I didn't always get what I want, but ultimately sometimes the players did go on a good run at times. They did, I think, enjoy what we wanted to do, but some of them just couldn't do it.
Now, how excited are you for this season? You said this team is more your team. You've had more of your fingerprints on this roster. I remember the day before we had day one of preseason here. I woke up in the middle of the night, had to go to the bathroom, and I opened my phone, opened Twitter, and I saw that you had retweeted a very inspirational tweet that said, stick with the process, stick through it. I think it was like 4:30 in the morning. If I'm not mistaken.
Normal.
And I think you're an early riser in general.
Yeah.
But how excited are you for the challenge that lies ahead for you with the team that's more yours?
Yeah. Well, look, I think we trusted the process. We stuck to a plan. Me and Chris had a real strong plan, and we stuck to it. And there was times, you think about some of the sales that we had to do that got a little bit of criticism, and it could have been easy just to waver and wobble, but we didn't. We stuck to the plan. And when you stick to a plan and you have a clear process and a clear structure, normally that's a good basis for success. And I always take it back to, like when you have a baby likes a routine, a baby likes a plan, a baby likes a structure, a baby likes a foundation. Normally when you get those four things, then the baby prospers into having a really good life. And that's no different with the team. We had to reconstruct and rebuild this team and get the foundations in place. And every time we had a signing, we ticked it off. That's another one in. That's another one in. And I think we signed 90%, 95% of our targets that we wanted, which was brilliant. And that's why I've got to tip my cap to Chris and to Nikki and to Mark and to Megan. Who did a great job in providing everything that I wanted, and there was a lot of hard work with that. We watched a lot of footage, we watched a lot of games, we spoke to a lot of players, we had one-to-one interviews with every player that we signed, and those were the most important because I wanted to see the whites of their eyes. And Nikki was on that call, Jason was on that call, Mark was on that call, Nikki was on that call, and we grilled. It was almost like an exam for the players. And not once during them calls did we speak about football, because that wasn't the most important thing, because we knew about the football side. We wanted to know them as people. We wanted to know if they were hungry, if they had the desire, why they were coming into Miami, and where they wanted to get to. And if they ticked all those boxes, we'd come off the phone and say, yeah, that's the one for Inter Miami. And we spoke to many that weren't, and they got pushed to one side.
You seem like you're a very thorough coach in terms of everything you do. I'm just curious what time your days start. I know you always have family, your husband, your father, as well as a coach. So what time does your day start? What does your normal day look like?
Well, I think my wife gets up at 4 every single day. Yeah, because she's a workhorse, and so I get up soon after that, and I find that from say 4:30 till about 6-7 o'clock. Two things really. It's the only time of day I get to call my family in England. My family's the most important thing to me, so I get to call my mum. It's a time when I can catch up on my nephews, my nieces, my sister. It's a time when I can really invest time and give them maybe a 10-minute call, or friends that I've not spoke to. So I use that time for family. I exercise probably about 5 o'clock, 5:30 every single day, and then from 6-7 o'clock, well, I'd say about 6:45, I focus all on Inter Miami then till about 5 o'clock. Because I start so early, my day is a little bit bookended. So I like to get home for when my daughter gets home from school. That's really important to me. Because people say as a manager you don't get much time to switch off. For me, the ability to pick my daughter up from school at 5 o'clock, or to have her, she's assistant manager of a soccer team, and I go and watch her play. I watch her. She's the assistant manager. I go and watch her team play. That's my switch off. My family. I go home. I can be a dad to Harvey for a while. We always have dinner together every single night. That's the basis of our family. And then at 8:30 probably I'm fast asleep in bed, shattered. So that's my day. I tend to commit very early, from about 4 till about 5 o'clock to my job.
How do game nights alter that schedule? I have one game in specific I want to ask you about, but how do game nights alter
Game night. I love game nights because
I'm sure the intensity still.
Yeah, because I get my 2 hours sleep in the afternoon. When I was a player, I used to sleep for 2 hours every afternoon. That was they say the best form of rest is sleep, and for me, I can sleep any time of day. So I have my sort of like lunch at about 12:15, and then from 1 till 3 I just go upstairs and I sleep like a baby, and then I can stay up later. And I come into the game, and I like to keep game day as relaxed as possible, because outside of that I'm a really intense type of guy. So my match day is relaxed. I like to switch off, go for a walk, do a little bit of a run, go for a coffee, or maybe do something with my wife, maybe a coffee or a walk with her that I don't get to do during the week.
I wanted to ask you about, like I said, one game in specific, and I ask you this question not to pick on the negative, but just to get some insight into Phil Neville, the coach. Because last year, that 5-0 loss to the New England Revolution was the rock bottom, I think. You guys were on a losing streak. That was a big loss at home. What did you do after that game? What did you do that evening? And after that, you guys bounced back. And I use LeBron as an example. When he was here, he lost the first final, and he was in with the Heat. He said he locked himself in a room for 2 weeks, didn't come out, and then after that, he just focused on building again. And then the next week, he was a monster, and he won the championship. So, just curious what your response was that evening. How did you take that loss?
Yeah, I mean, it was for me, that was the rock bottom. And it was a moment where during that second half I thought, we're in a bit of trouble here. Maybe I'm in a bit of trouble. And then after the game, you think back to influences in your life. You think back to influences. My father was my biggest influence, my parents, and Sir Alex Ferguson. And I think back to difficult moments that maybe we had as a family, or I had with Sir Alex. And two things just comes out of me all the time, is that 1, don't change, and 2, just get back on the horse as quick as you possibly can. So I went home that night, I watched the game back, and then I watched the game back in the morning. The players were in at maybe 12 o'clock, so staff came in at 8, and we sat through the game, and the staff were down, but I was relentless in what I thought, because I'd watched the game then afterwards, and I'd say I think it was 23 minutes, maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, we played really well. We started the game really well, and then there was one moment, we give a foul away, and then we give another foul away, and then we went to pieces. And then I thought, this team's mentally weak. This team can't take a punch. This team is like on the ropes taking a punch, and they go down, they quit. And they quit from 23 minutes. They quit. So we came in, and there was all sorts of ideas. I said, well, no, John, I'm just gonna make the team watch the first 23 minutes. So the players came in, and they probably thought I was just gonna go full. I said, right, guys, we're just gonna watch a bit of footage. We're gonna watch the first 23 minutes. Stop the game on 23 minutes. I said, right, what do you think? Silence. I said, no, come on. What do you think? I think Gonzalo said, we played well. I said, we did play well. Somebody else said, yeah, we had good movements, we had good moments, we had good chances, we were the best team. I said, did we look like a team? Yeah. Did we play to our strengths? Yeah. Did we play the style that we wanted? Yeah. Everyone was in agreement. I said, right, watch the next 3 minutes. Made them watch the next 3 minutes. Foul, heads down. Foul, heads down. Foul, heads down. Goal. It's like, okay. What do you think now? Oh, stupid foul. Yeah, but what about the reaction? Oh, it was bad. What about the reaction then? Made them watch the next 5 minutes. I think it was 3-0 down. I said, so I'm pretty calm I said I was pretty calm in what I was thinking. I said, you guys can't take disappointment. You guys can't take a punch. So that's the first thing. That's the only thing we're going to work on from now to the end of the season. You guys, the minute you suffer adversity, you all quit. And I called them a team of quitters through adversity. I said, and that for me as a professional is the biggest insult, that somebody accuses me of quitting. I said, because you've just admitted that we played well, we're a good team, and then we quit. Because that's what happened. We quit in the game. We stopped running. We stopped working. We stopped being a team. So before every game, then I kept using boxing analogies. Are we going to take a punch or are we not? So we started to train in training. We started to make bad decisions in training. We started to rile people in training. We started to create, chaos. And slowly and surely, we started to be able to handle adversity. So that became our mantra for the next 13 games. We lost to New York City, I think. And after the game, I said, "What are we going to do? Are we going to quit again, guys? Are you going to revert to type? Or are you going to go again?" And we went again. So that was we and then players started to quit. But anyway, and then further on down the line,
you guys did respond.
We responded.
I remember the Toronto game.
Yeah, you think about Philadelphia at home, we played really well. Then we went with Montreal. We didn't play well, but we fought well. So you see, Fahim, the psychologist, I kept after the game. He said, "What do you think?" I said, "We didn't quit." I said, "We took punches. We kept taking punches." I said, and every time a punch came, we went, "Come on, bring it on." And then we got to a point where we were enjoying taking the punches. We were enjoying being like, "Oh, we can handle adversity." And all of a sudden, we started to be a team. We started to enjoy each other. We started to smile at each other. And then we started winning games. So that's the basis of any team.
Do you feel that Phil Neville, obviously the player, has a very accomplished career, legend in Manchester United. Do you think Phil Neville, the coach, still has something to prove?
Yeah. Do you know what? At coaches, you always got something to prove. Always got something to prove because you can have good moments in your coaching career, but you're always remembered by the last game or your last job. And I never forget with the England national team, I got to the World Cup semi-final and we changed the opinion of women's soccer worldwide. The next 3 games we didn't have good results and people forget. So as a coach, what I've realised is you're always as good as your last job and you're always as good as your last game. So my main motivation in life is always to prove people wrong. That's my self motivation. When I got for every job, when I got the women's job, people said, "You never worked in women's football." That became my little inner motivation when I came here. "You've never worked in the MLS. No foreign coach has ever succeeded in the MLS." On my wall. That's my motivation every day. So I'd say every coach is probably the same. You watch Jose and Pep. Every time they win something, it's never enough because they got to go and beat the next person in the next club, and so that's football management.
I can ask you quickly about 3 players, and then we can wrap up here. Gonzalo, the role that you see for him this year. He talked in the press conference on day 1 about maybe being dropping deeper and maybe creating for others into spaces. How do you feel Gonzalo? You've talked about Africa, but how do you see his role this year?
Well, he's our best finisher. So I keep telling him, you're going to be centre forward because we need you in the box to score goals. You're our top scorer. So, and I think with Gonzalo, it's more his mind. He thinks, "Oh, I'm getting older, so I've got to go deeper." And I'm saying, "No, you're going older, so you've got to go higher." So it's just his mind. He thinks he has more influence, but what he doesn't realise now is he's got players that can pass him the ball. He's got players around him that can do a little bit more running for him, but we still need him in the box to finish.
Leonardo Campana, just started joining the team in full training, but what do you think he'll bring to the table? Another striker, another forward.
He gives us something that no centre forward we've had at this football club: his size, his strength, his ability in the air, his goals from crosses. He's young, he's hungry. That's the first thing when we interviewed him. He's hungry. He wants to go to a World Cup, and he's driven, and his work that he's put in on and off the pitch so far tells me everything that we saw in the interview is everything that we see in real life. So we're all really quietly confident and excited about how we can impact the team.
Talking a little bit about plays, obviously you guys want to
Wait, I can't. Sorry, go on.
I know there's probably some legalities there you can't touch on, but what led to this decision with plays from a coach from a technical side?
Yeah.
And what's the latest that you can't tell us?
Well, this was beyond. This was more how we could rebuild our team and what moves we had to make to rebuild our team. So, and Blaise was a brilliant person to have around. He was a great professional. He was a competitor. Yes, I think his performances could have been better. He knows that, and sometimes, we left him out the team. But I can't speak highly enough of the way that he conducts himself, and he's a class act. But you see it with Toronto, you see it with other clubs. Sometimes you have to make big decisions to, you have to take a step back to go too forward. And Blaze, unfortunately, with Pizarro, Tambien, that's my Spanish, Pizarro also, you have to make tough decisions. And if you're going to shy away from those, you're never going to be successful. Especially in the MLS. And it wasn't nice, because he's a competitor, he's someone that we respect. But he took it in the way, and hopefully, it'll be resolved soon.
Two more for you, just on the team. Sorry, Phil. Stylistically, what can we expect from this team in 2022? What can we expect from this?
Well, I think what you've seen in the game so far, there's a lot more energy in the team. There's a lot more. There's a quickness. There's a speed. There's a strength. And there's a, I think we said that we want to control games of football, but I think with the profile that we've got, transitionally we're going to be really, really good this year. Transitionally, because we've got speed and strength in the team. Defensively, we want to keep clean sheets, and we want to score goals from set plays. We work really hard. I've got probably one of the best set play coaches I think I've ever worked with or I've ever seen, and the work that he did last year was phenomenal, but didn't get the rewards, and that was because of the attitudes of the players. This year, we've already seen in scrimmages. I think we've scored most of our goals from set plays. So the work that he does, Mark, is as good as anything that I've seen.
My last one for you. First season, this club came out talking about trying to compete for a trophy. Second season, Jorge said top 3-4 finish in the East. There's so many new faces, so many new pieces. You've talked about patience. Gonzalo's talked about patience. What are the goals for Inter Miami in 2022? What is the target? What is the bar for you guys that you guys want to hit this season? The first chapter of this reset button, or this restart of the foundation?
Well, I think there's baby steps we want to do. We want to compete. The big word that me and Jason always talked about at the end of the season was we just want to compete in every single game, in every single training session. We want a team of competitors. Then you're talking about the bigger picture. This club has to win. This club has to win. This is not your normal club. This is not your normal club. In England, we have this saying about, where do you want to go on your holidays? Do you want to go to Blackpool, which is a little seaside resort, or do you want to go to the moon? This club is the moon. This club, you look at the facilities, you look at the ownership. The ownership want to win because they've won all their lives. So for me, I'm never gonna shy away from the fact that I'm a coach that wants to win. But I know that there has to be something in place to help us to win. Last year and the year before, maybe we didn't have the right piece of the jigsaw together. Hopefully this year we do. Thanks, Franco.
Appreciate it. Thank you.